In this video, we are going to talk about how do you work with the CloudWatch, a hands-on demo with the CloudWatch. And as we all know, CloudWatch is a monitoring service offered by Amazon, which is the primary function is to monitor all Amazon resources or Amazon services, which may include the Amazon EC2, EBS, or S3, or RDS, or IAM, and so many services over there. Now, pardon me, IAM is not part of the CloudWatch. But there are so many services which is part of the CloudWatch, and we covered almost all services. What are the services supported by CloudWatch? Now, in this video, we are going to see how would you work with the CloudWatch. So for that, we would be performing a few tasks. First task, you must be knowing that you must have launched an instance with the EC2. For just our example purpose, I have launched 2 instances as of now for the demo part. And along with that, we would be seeing what is the status of the instance, how do you see the detailed monitoring of the instance, and what are the different metrics available with the CloudWatch. That all part we would be seeing over there. So let's go to our Amazon Management Console. I am in the Amazon Management Console. In the Amazon Management Console, you can see that we would have EC2 as part of that. When I am going to see the EC2, it would show me 2 instances running. I can select any of the instance, and inside the instance, when I go and click monitoring, it would show me the various monitoring aspect of that instance. So if I just click on one of the parameters like CPU utilization, you would see there was some CPU utilization, and then there was a very null, or there is some happening over there. So there is not much process happening over this instance. So you would see it's much lesser than the 1% CPU utilized. This is basic monitoring. So data is at every 5 minutes of the period. You can see the time range. You want the last hour, last 3 hours, last one, or even up to last 2 weeks. So this instance is launched today, you would not see much previous data available. So from the launching, this is how the instance has behaved over the CPU part. We also check about the statistics, and statistics would be like average, minimum, maximum we would see. And we would be seeing all that again in the CloudWatch console. Why we have come here is, in the EC2, one thing we wanted to do is enable detailed monitoring. The detailed monitoring is a service which would allow to monitor your resources every minute. It's a chargeable service and not part of the free usage tier. So if you want to enable, you can enable it over there, and it says clearly additional charges apply. The difference between detailed monitoring and basic monitoring is one works at every 5 minutes, one works at every 1 minute. Apart from that, everything else is same. If I want to check more resources, you can see it is having the more metrics like discretes, discrete operations, discrete operations, network in, network out, status check failed instance, CPU usage, the CPU credit balance, and a few more. Now this status check failed instance and the status check failed system, they are the two important aspects. This is what the status check all about. It's a 2x2 status checks pass. And then only we were planning to connect to the instance. We do not connect unless the status checks are passed. These status checks come from this section. You can see there are two kind of a status checks. One is a system and one is the instance status checks. The system status checks is verify whether your instance is reachable over the hardware or not. There may be infrastructure issue, Amazon power issue, networking, all that kind of issue it deals with. While instance status checks deals more with the instance, the operating system and the file system corrupted or not, and kind of a checks it would make. Once those two checks are passed by Amazon, instance is healthy and you can connect with the instance. These two checks are available at every minute, and if one of the check fails, instance is not reachable. These two checks are also, though available every minute, are free of cost. Amazon does not charge you extra for that. So this is all about the how you would be monitoring services with the EC2 level. I will be going to the CloudWatch service. Let's go to the CloudWatch. I'm clicking on the CloudWatch part. The CloudWatch, as we know, provides a various kind of a metrics and monitoring services. The key aspect of the CloudWatch was alarms. But let's first go and check the metrics part. The matrix shows currently how many metrics are available. So there are the EC2 instance matrix, EBS matrix, and the billing matrix. CloudWatch is very well used for the e billing monitoring also, and we will see that also now. If I just click on the EC2 matrix, it would list down all the EC2 metrics. What are the metrics available? That's the CPU credit balance, CPU credit usage, utilization, read operation, write bytes, write operation, network in, network out, status check failed, all that for the CloudWatch, and same 12 are available for the another instance too. You know what? You can even aggregate the data. You can select the data here also very easily. If I select the data, if I select this data with the mouse, I can zoom that section also. On the right hand side, what you see is a copy URL. Suppose you find some abnormality and you want to share this abnormality with your colleague. You can just copy URL and give it to your colleague. When he pastes the URL and logs into Amazon, he would be seeing the similar graph. You can get the data based on the time range also. So you want to say from 4 hours to 3 hours, something like that. You can specify that also. It would refresh accordingly. You can zoom from 1 hour, 3 hours, 6 hours, up to 2 weeks of the data, it would list you. And when I click on the 1 hour, it would be showing me that. One more thing, you can have multiple metrics on the single graph too. See, CPU credit, status check failed, network out. You can have that. If you want to see multiple graphs on the same page, provided the metrics are same, it would be also helpful for you. So just take an example. I want to see CPU utilization of this instance with my another instance. I can do that. You can see it would be having a two instance available. One is having CPU utilization almost zero all the time. The other is having some data, but then it's also almost zero. So this is how the things are working. CloudWatch, as we see, you can download the metrics also using the CLIs and all that. Otherwise, you watch from the console. Now, let's set up an alarm. What is an alarm? Whenever CloudWatch is going to cross certain threshold, you can set up an alarm for that. So either you can create an alarm, since I have the two metrics available, I select one and I can create alarm from the same here also, or on the left hand side I click alarms and I can say create alarm. Here it would say what, for which matrix are you trying to make? I say EC2 matrix. Okay, for EC2 I'm saying CPU. So I am going for CPU utilization for CloudWatch 2. Okay, now what do I want to do? The alarm can be for the higher or the lower, both the threshold you can set up that. Once you say when the CPU is lower utilized, you want to get an alarm, or CPU is higher utilized, you can want to get that. I can say when CPU is less or equal to 2% for consecutive one period. Now what is a period here? Period is defined here. On this right hand side you see period is whether it's a 1 minute period, 5 minutes period, 15 minutes period. That means for consecutive, if I say 2 period and here I defined 1 period equal to 1 minute, that means for consecutive 2 minutes, if the CPU utilization is 2 minutes or less than 2%, it should take action as defined here. Or I can go and say when for 5 minutes, so when consecutive for 10 minutes it is less than 10%, 2%, it would be then taking this action as below. So here I can say when state is alarm, what do you want to do? I want to take two kind of an action. One is a notification action. Where do I set the notification? I say new list. Here I can say notify me. And what's my email ID? Right? So it would be sending an email over there. I also want to take another action. So whenever it's less than 2% for 2 minutes, it would send an email to this email ID. Then I want to say, oh, I want to take an EC2 action too. What is an EC2 action? Whether I want to stop, start, what do I want to do with the instance? I say terminate the instance. I say I'm okay. It says it will create a following IAM user. I am say okay. So I created two actions. One action is when it notifies me through email. Second action when it automatically terminates the instance. And I'll say create alarm. It says check your inbox. I say I'll do it later. But immediately it went to the state. And it would be ideally it should immediately start terminating the instance too. You can see it has started terminating one of the instance because it's in the alarm state. So this way you can see I can take the action with the CloudWatch alarms. So CloudWatch alarms helps you to take action based on the certain matrix. Whenever the matrix crosses the limit above or below, both the way you can take the action over here. And it's not only for the EC2, whether it's for the EBS or for the different kind of service, you can take that. CloudWatch action has a three kind of actions. One is a notification we talk about. Second is the EC2 action. Third is the auto scaling. Auto scaling action we would see in the future when we start learning about the auto scaling. Apart from that, in the CloudWatch, you can set up a billing alarm too. Now billing is a very important aspect. You came to the Amazon because you wanted to save certain money. Now if you can't save the money, there is no use of that. So how would you save some money with the Amazon? Or how do you get alerts with the Amazon that whenever you are crossing certain limit, it should notify you? And that's why Amazon provides the billing matrix. Now, if you are a new to Amazon and first time using this, you would see some different message here because it requires you have to enable billing notifications. For that, what you have to do is go to your name here on the top where my name would be. You go to your My Account section. Remember, go to My Account section. And click on the Preferences. Remember, click on the Preferences. And select this option, Receive Billing Alerts. Receive Billing Alerts. Once you have enabled and you save the preference, after that, you would be able to get the billing alerts here. So I can say, I want to get the billing alerts for my estimated charges. So what is my anticipated charges? So let's go and make an alarm for that. So I would go and say create alarm. My total charges, I want to get the alarm and I would say next. When billing is more than $1, because I am using a free usage tier. So as soon as the billing crosses $1, it should notify me. So I would say when state is alarm, notify me. I can select directly this notification which I created or I can enter the new email ID too. And then I say create alarm. Advantage is now whenever the billing crosses the limit, it would send an email to me. Right? I hope everybody is clear with the concept of what the CloudWatch does is. So in this session, till now what we have covered is, we have seen the launch of one or two instances. We check the status of the instance. We check how can we do the detailed monitoring section. We went to the CloudWatch console. We checked what are the metrics. We did certain alarm setting as well as we set the billing alerts. So in this video of the CloudWatch series, we learned what is Amazon CloudWatch, what are the metrics and what are the CloudWatch alarms. We also did hands-on with the CloudWatch. I hope you all enjoyed this.